Hello, everybody. Wow, quite an echo. Huh. Anyway, hmm. well, as you all can tell, okay, something's a little freaky here. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, oh, now I see. I see what happened. Alrighty then. That should. Okay, I had two windows open on the same page there. That's what it was. I had two windows open on the YouTube page, and that's why I was getting the echo there. So let's try this one more time. Hello, everybody. Oh, great. All right, so let me try this then. Sometimes screwy things happen, right? That's what it was. Okay. Hopefully this won't bite me in the butt this time. But anyways, all right. Well, hopefully that will you won't have the problem with. Hey, metal. ah, looking good. Oh, okay. Well, thanks. Yeah, I got the haircut today, my friend. So just yeah. Let me just take care of something here real quick. All right. So, all right. Oh, wait. Just one more time here. Just to make absolutely sure. There we go. That should be better. Anyways, alrighty then. So hopefully everybody's after that little mix up at the very beginning there. Hopefully we won't suffer, and we are suffering, as of course. Alrighty then. So after that little mix up there, let's go ahead and go ahead and get going here. See that when that happens. Anyways. Hmm. All right. So, anyways, all right. So let's talk about what's on tap for tonight. So basically, we are just going to have one article from Bleeding Fool. We're going to go over, as I'm going to go over the Indie Comic Showcase. Um, from Bleeding Fool, and then from there, we'll of course have the Wrestling Roundup, um, and this day in each history. So with all that, why don't we go ahead and get started then with our article? All right. When that happens. Anyways, so now my YouTube screen is gonna lag a little bit, but I know why that is. Anyways, okay, so Indie Comic Showcase number 229, Rue, Ginger Sin, and Tibby's Time Traveling Psychedelic Mushrooms. And as always, if you guys haven't already, of course, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people on in here. Also, if anything here grabs your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions. I'll try to answer the question to the best of my ability. All right. So, anyways, let's get to this. Welcome back to another installment of Indie Comic Showcase, the weekly blog where we signal boost um, a few truly independent comics that are currently crowdfunding their projects, um, crowdsourcing their funding in some way, or just completely self publishing on their own. Every little bit of support for these creators matters, from a single dollar pledge to the $25 bundle. And of course, the higher tiers are usually fun too. Even if you can't back a campaign or buy a book, you can share or tweet about these projects to your friends and followers. On Any Comic Showcase, we interview the creators, show off some art, and tell you how you can check out the product for yourself. Below, we have some outstanding crowdfunding campaigns this week for you to learn about, enjoy, and hopefully support by backing one or more of them. Thanks for checking these out and for being the best part of Indie Comic Showcase. Let's jump in. All right, so let me just see here. All right. Yeah, that's not gonna work either. Shoot. All right. Anyways, back to this. Ginger Sin by Tim Tyler. Wow, that's quite a quite a look there. Chris Braley, welcome to Indie Comic Showcase, Tim. Tell me the story behind Ginger Sin. What's it about? Tim Tyler. Ginger Sin is an ex porn star who is now a grindhouse film actress. This book chronicles her lost anime grindhouse films. This comic is magazine formatted, square bound, 50 plus pages, and we've got some alternate covers made to look like Japanese fanzines. Chris, how did you conceive of this idea and what made you decide to self publish it? Tim, Ginger is a character in Bolt Action, my illustrated grindhouse magazine. That is currently on its third issue. Ginger Sin #1 is a companion to Bolt, but done in an anime style and feel. So, there's an anime manga styling a book here. Um, okay, and then here's a typo. Chris, I think it's supposed to be who is it aimed at, albeit unless he's joking or something like that, or playing up the whole naughty aspect to it. Who is it aiming at? But I believe that's supposed to be who is it aiming at, mind you. Let's see. Definitely mature readers, fans of big action, anime, fantasy, and sci-fi. There's no hard adult stuff, but there is plenty of cheesecake, as we can tell. It's like vintage heavy metal of the 70s if it were being published in Japan and geared towards B movie fans. Okay. Interesting. Interesting fan base to go after. Let's see, Chris. Sounds cool. Tell me a bit about your style and creative process. Tim, I rarely write my scripts out. I have an idea and just start drawing, allowing the characters to speak in my head. I usually have a few things I want to draw and an ending, then I just work towards it very often being surprised myself. Chris, this is all of you? This is all you? So what's your production workflow like and how far along is the book? Tim, I put our a okay. I think it's supposed to be some typos here in this article. Obviously, I put out a page to 2 pages a day, depending on detail. The book is just being started. My deadline is around Christmas, and believe it will certainly ship way before that. Really hope to have this out by. What an interesting Christmas gift here, huh, folks? Oh boy. Chris, tell me what you've been learning from self-publishing through this process. Tim, I learn something every time I put a campaign together. I have had 18 successful campaigns on Kickstarter, and each one is a character of its own. Ginger Sin is completely different than Bolt Action, which is completely different from Themes, etc. So he's got a book called Themes, huh? This guy would seem to be a bit more into the darker side of things, huh? Are there more stories to tell with these characters? Tim, always more stories to tell with the world that I've set up. I have a character um, for just about every genre um, possible, and really like them all. I just need more hands um, at this point. Hmm. Very interesting artwork, to say the least. Uh, see if anybody's saying anything yet. Nope. As always, guys, one, if you can like and share this thing, see if we can get some more friendly people on here. That'd be appreciated. Also, if anything here catches your attention, feel free to comment down or ask questions, and I'll try to answer the questions to the best of my ability. All right, Chris, what else can you tell me about the campaign? Any special features? Tim, some special Japanese covers and some alternate, more mature covers. I have placed a unique lobby card featuring some of Ginger's films in each edition of the book. So there's about 10 cards to collect. Hmm. Anything else you want to share with our readers before we sign off? Tim, that was Chris. And Tim, support the independence of your liking. They really are the last sparkles of fun and uniqueness in comics. Um, when they are gone, we will be left with the same old, easily forgettable stories and art that unfortunately fill comic shops today. And then Chris says, thanks, Tim. Good luck on the campaign. All right, so here we go with the next article coming up here, our next portion of the story here. Next book where I'll be looking at. All right. Tibby and Her Time-Traveling Psychedelic Mushrooms by W.S. Sam Quinton. Yes, I believe actually RJ featured this guy a couple weeks ago, I think. Let's take a look at this. Some more, some more good girl art, as they like to call it. Got the campaign page here. Chris Braley, welcome back to Indie Comic Showcase. Sam, tell me about Tibby. Sam Quinton. Um, Tibby is a smart, pretty lady next door who just happens to be growing, in small quotes here, plants, and her own new strain of psychedelic mushrooms. Her first use of her new magic mushrooms sends her on a wild trip back in time to a period where dinosaurs roam the planet. There's excitement, time travel, dinosaurs, and barely clad bubble bath beauty in this fun romp of a first issue. Wow. No kidding. The book is rated 18 plus for near nudity and psychedelic substance use. Mm-hmm. So I guess Chris doesn't even have to ask who this is aimed for because I think we all know who this is aimed for. I guess Chris decided to feature the dirty books this week because we got a couple already that are kind of more adult oriented, as it were. Uh-huh. Chris, where did the idea for this comic come from and made you decide to self publish it? Sam, I had been up for a couple of days working on another crowdfunding project, working my day job, basically working nonstop for about 70 hours or so. Wow. I nodded off after sitting down to eat and watch a little anime, and suddenly jerked awake and heard myself saying, "Time traveling mushrooms," or something to that effect. I jotted down the idea and promptly went to sleep for a couple hours. When I awoke, I read the notes I had left myself and called my father, pitching the idea of a pretty redhead lady who creates her own homegrown strain of psychedelics that hurl her through time. He thought the idea was cool, so I began work developing characters and concepts, then pitched the idea to some other friends of mine who laughed, then asked when I was going to make it. I began working on a proper script for the first issue. Mm. At that point, she's still in the. I guess the psychedelic effects are happening there. Wow, she's sinking into a time warp. That's very interesting. Imagine a naked girl coming out to you like that. Like all of a sudden, a naked girl appears in front of you like that, all covered with just bubble bath. That might get your attention real fast, right? What kind of comic readers is this suited for, and who is it aimed at? Well, I guess he asked the question anyways, even though it was pretty obvious. Let's see how Sam answers. Adults who enjoy a good time travel story who aren't offended by near nudity, people who think dinosaurs are cool, and comic fans who like episodic storytelling. All right, that's kind of a pretty concise way of putting it. Hey, if anybody, no. All right. So, anyways, continuing on with the story here. As I said, if you can like and share the stream and see if we can get some more friendly people in here. Also, if anything here catches your attention, feel free to comment and or ask questions, and I will do the best I can to answer those questions. With that, um, tell me a bit about your own creative style and work process. Sam, I write a number of different titles, um, and each has their own storytelling style. Um, Procedurally, though, I develop the story concept first, and then work on an outline. The outline. I guess he's supposed to. I guess he means once the outline is complete, I put together an initial script draft and put it in front of Alexa Veldhuizen, who I pay to edit my work. She will then pass back suggested script revisions, and I'll work those out before sending back what is, in parentheses, hopefully the final draft, the script itself. I hire the artist for the project, line up the letterer, pay for production of character designs, and the first pages to get a feel for what the comic is going to look like. From there, it's a matter of funding any remaining art cost, um, quote, or as much as possible, unquote, parentheses, prior to bringing the title out to crowdfunding platforms to secure um, remaining fund. I think he meant to say funding that may be needed to complete the project and or get the title print. I wonder if I don't think he. I don't think Chris would be drinking. I don't know. I don't know if he drinks or not. But it would seem either he may have been drinking, might have been a little drunk, or maybe just a little distracted here because I've seen like 3 or 4 typos in this article already from a grammatical standpoint. And there she is right there. Imagine having her as a neighbor, right? Ah, that's detailed, Sam. Thanks for that. Can you tell me about your creative team? First and foremost is Alexia Veldhuizen. Um, she is a fantastic editor. She is also the artist on my series 47 Furious Tales. I've worked with her for years and love her professionalism and attention to detail. She has been crucial to development of the title. Damien Torres is the artist for Tibby and has created the character designs, cover art, interior line art. I've worked with before on projects like Dungeons and Games 2022. Wow, this guy's got some pretty interesting titles going there. Some pretty interesting material to say the least. Let's see now. All right, so let's see now. He has also created art for Reign of Ages art prints. Incredibly skilled as a line artist and colorist, the look and feel of the title is largely due to his efforts. Let's see. Wow, Sam's giving quite a bit of detail here, isn't he? When Nick Capone let me know he wasn't going to be able to color Tibby, and with Dakota Erhan's production calendar mostly full, meaning he wouldn't have time to color it, I asked Nick, Alexia, and Damien who they would recommend. I asked this of them individually, so none of them knew that I had asked any of the others. Whoa, oh boy. Dakota was the first person recommended by each. Dakota's colors have been fantastic, and I cannot wait to see the completed issue and how his efforts breathe even more life into Damien's art. But then, didn't he? Here's the thing, though. Didn't he just say that Dakota wasn't available? He just said in the prior sentence there that Dakota, this is the same Dakota, anyways, he wasn't available. When anyone asked me who I would choose to letter a new book, Taylor Esposito's name is the first that comes to mind. His lettering skills are, in my opinion, anyway, unmatched. IMOA, as it were. As a letterer, he is able to emphasize key points through deliberate and subtle means, enhancing the story without compromising the art. Oh, look at that. Chris then asks, how far along is the book? And then Sam answers, presently the team is working on finishing the interior pages. Once those are done, we'll be sending the pages to Taylor for lettering. We are currently expecting the book to be fully complete by the end of August or possibly first week of September. So at the latest, probably by around Labor Day, right? Let's see. The day the lettering is finalized, I'll finish the digital files for the PDF release and for the printer. send out the files to the printer, and upload the digital release to Drive-Thru Comics. Once print copies come in, I'll be shipping these comics out swiftly to all backers of the Kickstarter campaign and each of the second chance campaigns, in parentheses, found on Indiegogo, Crowdfunder, and Fund My Comics, parentheses. So he's gonna probably, well, yeah, we know about him doing work. He's doing some stuff on Fund My Comics. I know, as I mentioned earlier, RJ, he was on RJ's channel like about a couple weeks ago. Anyways, let's see. So then Chris asked, "What have you been learning from self-publishing and crowdfunding?" Sam then responds, "I've been crowdfunding and publishing comics and role-playing books for several years now. Each book teaches me something new. I am constantly working on our internal processes to streamline efficiency and enhance quality. One of the key things I've learned is to give your artists time to complete the work to the best of their ability." Yeah, that's probably good, man. What's next, Sam? Chris asked, and Sam responds, "I'm going to be putting out more issues of Tibby, 47 Furious Tales, Reign of Ages, and a few other titles I have in development. I'm also publishing Necroholic by Brian Lee. I'm guessing this is probably a different Brian. I don't think this is the professional wrestler Brian Lee, but I could be wrong. Ninth Degree by Paul Wolcott, and Red Claw by Christian Martinez. Got a lot of great stories to tell, and I hope you'll love them all. Chris, good to hear. Anything else you would like to share with our readers before we sign off?" And Tim said, I think that's supposed to be Sam, not Tim. "I hope you enjoy our comics and role-playing games, and I thank you for making..." Wow, there's like, I've already counted like 5 or 6 typos here. My guess is either Chris was incredibly distracted, or I don't know, may have been under the influence of something. Let's say. Anyways, Rue number 1, Back to the Rooture by Franklin Scott. Oh, who's that kid? Rue wants you. Oh boy. Chris Braley, welcome to Indie Comics Showcase. Franklin, hit me with the elevator pitch for Rue number 1. Franklin Scott, Riley Olivia Ortez, aka Rue, is an 8-year-old superhero who would rather be reading comic books than being a part of them. Her best friend, mentor, and sidekick is the Wombat, in parentheses, created by 2-time Eisner Award winner Mike Barron. Okay. Chris asked, "Cool. Where did the idea for this comic come from, and made you decide to self-publish it?" Franklin, I conceived the idea in 2017 while talking to my friend Mike Barron. Rue appeared in Yeet Presents number 55 to rave reviews, so we decided as a team to launch a crowdfunding campaign. So the one thing Chris is focusing on this week is female characters. It just goes to show you that there is diversity in comics, and you don't have to preach to people about it. Got 3 female lead characters there that they're featuring here. Chris, who is it aimed at? Franklin. The comic is aimed at an all ages crowd. There are no politics or social agendas pushed. Good. Just a lot of fun that ranges from a Calvin and Hobbes type vibe to superhero books from the golden age to present. How would you describe your writing process? Chris asked. And then Franklin goes, I actually use my own style, which is a mashup of Marvel Silver Age formula with dialogue added. But my artist does the layouts around the scripts. He is brilliant. Look at this. It's rude, I guess. Chris, tell me about your creative team on this project. Franklin, myself, of course, along with artist Danielle Dunbrinis Spezzani, who is the designer, penciler, and inker. It's 100% traditional art, no digital or AI. Doug Curtis is my letterer, colorist as well, and artist on future projects. Kevin Burge is the writer, creator, and editor. And I also want to shout out a healthy thanks to comics legend Mike Barron, in parentheses, your Nexus, Badger, Star Wars, Punisher, Flash, Private American, Bronze Star, just to name a few. Then Blue Line for suggestions, his support, and for use of the Wombat. Chris, how cool? What's your production workflow like? And if it's not complete, how far along is the book? Franklin, the book is over 2/3 complete and will be 100% complete well before the funding period ends. As a creative team, we go from my brain to Danielle's and then to Doug's. We aspire to be sort of a Claremont Byrne of the era of fun comics. Okay. Rue is coming! Extraordinary Comics Group. BCG. Rue is coming. Chris, what have you been learning throughout this process? And do you have plans for more stories? Franklin, I learned a lot from asking questions of friends Mike Barron, Chuck Dixon, and Ronald Fortier, as well as from others who allowed me to pick their brains. The Runeverse, okay, is a multiverse of tales. There will be more Rue as well as superheroes, science fiction, and horror, and the likes of which you've never screamed, okay? I don't know if that was intentional or that was a typo, but Chris, are there any special perks or tiers on the campaign you'd like to mention? Franklin, yes. We are offering limited edition variant covers, chromium covers, original art copies of the comic signed by ourselves and Mike Barron, as well as vintage comics signed by Mike. Our goal is to take comics back from the dark, dismal, the smaller quotes, true to life comics. We want to bring children and young adults back into the medium that was created for them while producing stories every adult can enjoy too. Instead of trying to preach at the readership about how they should feel about certain things, and if they don't feel, then they're the lowest piece of garbage in the world, as opposed. Ah, let's see. Chris, sounds good to me. Good luck, Franklin. All right, so that's it for this installment. If you're a creator ramping up your own campaign or have a comic available for purchase online and you want to be featured in our weekly column, click here and follow Indie Comics Showcase on Twitter at Indie Comics at Indie Comics and reach out to them for more eyes on your crowdfunding comic project. Until next time, support Indie Comics. There you go. Hi, anyways, let's see. And I can find the blasted cursor. Anyways. Alrighty then. So, as I was saying, if you can, of course, if you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here. As I said, we were just going to go over that one comment, that one article tonight. See where are we at on time here? 42 minutes. All right. So we're going to get right into the wrestling wrap up then here. As we'll do more the result for tomorrow night, but what I can tell you is what was going on what was going on Dynamite tonight, as you did have two blind eliminator tag team tournament quarterfinal matches happening. You had Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland taking on Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy. You had Adam Cole and MJF pairing off against a surprise team. In the let's see, you also have Kenny Omega versus let me see if I go to just the card because we don't need the results yet. Card for tonight includes two blind eliminator tag matches, as you have Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland taking on Darby Allin and Cassidy. You have Matt Menard of Jericho Appreciation Society and the Butcher taking on Adam Cole and MJF. In the final women's quarterfinal match of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament, Ruby Soho will be taking on Dr. Britt Baker. You have in a 6-man tag match, you have Billy Gunn and the Acclaim taking on the Blade and the Bollywood Boys. And the main event set up to be Kenny Omega taking on Wheeler Yuta. So that's going on Dynamite tonight. Also, of course, in WWE news, it looks like Judgment Day may be planning a trip to the NXT brand in the coming week to confront Carmelo, Grimes, and Trick Williams, two of NXT's most popular stars, over their interference in Judgment Day business. As of course WWE continues to work its way towards SummerSlam, as they're developing with that, they hope will eventually lead to. Now, there was some discussion that there were some people who didn't like the idea that Roman Reigns was pinned. There's some people who felt he should have remained, not necessarily undefeated, but at least undefeated to the point of not being pinned or submitted until WrestleMania, as they're trying to work a program, have Roman and Cody taking on each other then. So, and then also follow up to a story also in the wrestling wrap up here that we did a few weeks ago. There was so we reported a few weeks back that former WCW enhancement talent, the Gambler, real name Jeff Gann, had passed away. It's since been proven that he's still alive and well. Apparently, there was another wrestler who was using the Gambler name, and it was he who died. But the WCW enhancement talent, Jeff Gann, is still alive, as he confirmed on Talk is Jericho podcast. He's still alive, so we get the correction there. So, anyways, with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping things up. Today is Wednesday, July the 5th. Oh boy. 20. All right, I think I know how I just goofed there. I probably lost my focus there, and that's probably how the whole mess with YouTube happened there. Alrighty then. So, anyways, 1993 and 2017. Okay. All right. So with that, we're about to wrap up here. But before we do, today being Wednesday, July the 5th, 2023, let's take a look back at this day in each history. History! So first off, head back 30 years ago today. Is on this date 30 years ago today, WWF at the time held its Monday Night Raw event from the Manhattan Center in New York City. The main event saw Mr. Perfect defeat Brian Costello in a minute. Undertaker defeated Samu, one half of the Head Shrinkers. Bam Bam Bigelow defeated Joey Maggs. 1-2-3 Kid defeated one half of the Beverly Brothers, Blake Beverly. There was also a segment where they were showing scenes from the previous day's Body Slam Challenge. You know, basically where Lex Luger had Body Slam Yokozuna. So, so that's all that happened all 30 years ago today. Also, on this date in, let's see, 2008, on this date in 2008, Discovery Kids, The Future is Wild, which started up in 2007, would finish its run on this date in 2008. So on this date in 2008, final episode of The Future is Wild aired on Discovery Channel. There we go with that. Also on this date in 2017, 6 years ago today, the 25th issue of Stray Bullet, Sunshine and Roses from Image Comics went on sale on this date back in 2017. So 6 years ago today, Stray Bullets, Sunshine and Roses from Image Comics went on sale on this date in 2017. And finally, on this date in 2018, the following anime would premiere in Japan. Project Number 9's 100 Sleeping Princes and the Kingdom of Dreams, Mappa's Banana Fish, Ajia-do Animation Works, How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, Silverlink's Miss Caretaker of Sunohara So, and Samzigen's Bang Dream Girls Band Party Pico. So those 5 animes premiered in Japan on this date back in 2018, 4 years ago today, or 5 years ago today, I guess. So with that, I thank everybody for being here tonight. Hope everybody enjoyed. Tomorrow night we'll be back here with more niche news. We'll be back here with more niche news tomorrow night. And then, of course, Friday will be Rick Piper will be joining me as we'll be looking back to November of 1939, looking over comics that went on sale from MLJ Enterprises, now known, of course, as Archie Comics, focusing in on Pep Comics #1. So I thank everybody for being here, and I hope everybody enjoyed the show, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.